Greetings. Well, election year continues. 2024 madness. All right. Oh my goodness. It's amazing. We went from being stuck with these horribly, controlled opposition, inflammatory puppet figure, Donald Trump on one side, and decrepit, mentally diminished, old, corrupt, racist dude, 20 years senator Biden on the other side. That's how it started this season, this time around. And I did a couple videos saying this is going to be a crazy election year. I was totally right. Now we got an assassination attempt on the president, which weirdly hardly ever gets mentioned in much of the press. I think if someone had tried to shoot at Kamala and had actually grazed her ear, we'd never hear the end of it. It'd be like, white supremacists, forever, we're going to control, we're going to lock down the whole country. They'd make a much bigger deal out of it. But since it was the despised one, the one they've picked to be the thing that you don't like, Donald Trump, hardly ever got mentioned. Either way, big deal, big thing did happen. Look, the Secret Service, which were totally controlled by partisan, Biden Democrats, did stand down, did let it happen. It's totally obvious, just like it's totally obvious that there was a giant stand down on January 6th. The thing they wanted to use as a psychological operation to tweak your mind out about, rather than just let it happen and be a normal protest, right? Which is what it was, really. Unless you add in what the FBI infiltrators did to really get the crowd going, the things they did, the people they hurt, the conservative Trump supporter that they killed. But anyway, it's crazy right now what's happening this election year. There's just been this debate, this big famous debate between Kamala Harris, the chosen candidate. She was never primaried. No one ever had a chance to vote for her to be the candidate. She's just the candidate. This is the way it is. So she's the candidate. Okay, cool. So we had this, debate, right? Debate moderated by ABC, who the owner of ABC, or one of the main directors at ABC, is really good friends with Kamala and her husband and everything. But anyway, no worries. Conflict of interest. They totally biased, debate moderation, totally against Trump. Trump was basically, it was a 3-on-1, 3 against 1 debate. Horrible. But what happened during the debate also was that basically the frame that we are in just continued. Basically, it's evil, racist, Neanderthal Trump supporters versus really sophisticated, smug, coastal elites who just love Kamala. That's kind of the frame that it stayed in. Unfortunately, the debate didn't reveal actually anything. No new information was revealed. No policy was discussed. No plan. No nothing for the future was actually discussed. But it was a snarky tit for tat between celebrities we've been taught to hate and celebrities we've been taught to love. So it's celebrity tit for tat between Kamala Harris and Trump. Okay, great. No name of anybody actually in power was ever mentioned. Peter Thiel, John Brennan, CIA, Raytheon, Lockheed, Boeing, Google. What are we going to do about our tech monopolies? None of that was ever mentioned. In fact, what it was a really a kind of a contest to talk about who's going to comply with the deep state more, right? It was really that. It's like, oh, Kamala, did you say you weren't going to frack one time, that you're against fracking? Oh, no, I love fracking. Well, I love fracking more than you. Oh, I love fracking. Who's for fracking? Oh, I'm for fracking. You're for fracking. Okay, great. We're all for fracking. Okay, great. So fracking wins. Big energy wins. There's no environmental movement, right? The environmental movement loves to talk about climate change. Climate change, Jeff. It's so real, Jeff. Oh, you don't believe in climate change? Climate change. Oh my God, climate change. Climate change means nothing. That phrase actually means nothing. I think it was actually invented by a Republican to replace global warming, right? I think it was Frank Luntz that said we should all start using the phrase of climate change. It wasn't one of us, wasn't an environmentalist. Right, so environmentalists should be working on things locally right now. What's happening with the local food production, local hydrology, fracking, hydraulic fracking? How's that going? Are we banning that? Are we doing more of it? So while we're going around saying this phrase, climate change, we're actually supporting frackers, doing more fracking. And they are actually corporate Democrats that are doing that, right? So are you a fracker? I'm a fracker. I'm a bigger fracker than you, bro. I'll be a bigger fracker than you. Okay. What about war? What about the old thing the Democrats used to stand for, ending war? Now we're in undeclared wars. They don't call them war anymore. It's just military attack, drone attack on civilians. We don't need Congress to approve war funds anymore. We just do it. We just go for it, brah. Bomb the shit out. Just do it. So no discussion of that. No talking about that. In fact, who's more loyal to Israel? Once again, I'm more loyal to Israel. You loyal to Israel? I know you are, but what am I? I'm loyal to Israel. Oh, are you going to bomb Palestinians? I'll use our weapons to bomb the crap out of Palestinians, bro. Palestinians will be just like genocided so fast, it will be liquidated by vapor bombs and shit. Well, if I'm the president, you know what I mean? No discussion of, should we have a better policy on Israel-Palestine? Nope. No logical discussion on that. So what you get is a faux contest, a fake debate, a fake polarity, which distracts you from real power. Real power is war. It's a thing that, like Eisenhower talked about, right? Old white guy, crazy white guy Eisenhower tried to warn you about the military-industrial complex, which you now can't even see. I was talking with a man today, gray hair, my age, skateboarder, progressive, looked like me in Oakland. Talking to him, we were having a polite discussion. We started having a very polite discussion. We had a very polite discussion. He's kind of left leaning, technically we're the same politics. The man had never actually heard the name of Raytheon before. He actually didn't know who Raytheon was. I mean, that blew my mind. I could imagine a 20-year-old or a 30-year-old or someone younger. Of course, they're not going to know the name of Raytheon. It's on purpose. It's not their fault. No one's ever told them. None of their liberal educators ever mentioned anything important anymore. No one cares. And that's not on the media, certainly. So they will be certainly super aware of very super symbolic, powerful, like black woman poet, awesome. Which that stuff is really important. We have to celebrate that stuff. We have to do that stuff. But at the same time, we actually kind of have to keep talking about real power dynamics. People really in power while we're just having this great dance with identity politics and who's genitals and who's sleeping with who and all this kind of stuff. Right? That's cool. Like what kind of genitals you have, what your skin tone is, who you like to have sex with. Those things are important, and I want you to feel comfortable doing anything that you want to. But those things cannot replace who's really taking us to war, who's really making money, who's looting our treasury. If you don't know the name of Peter Thiel and Palantir, but you're hyper aware of everything that Donald Trump says, then you're wrong. You've been deceived. Okay? Here in Oakland, you've been deceived. There's nothing radical about talking about Trump. It's not empowering. Nothing good comes out of that. Bad or good. If you like him or don't like him, it doesn't matter. Right? So now, today, I saw this thing where all these leftist friends of mine are like, oh yeah, no, I'm not going to say the name of Trump anymore. That is so funny. Because that's exactly the only thing you've had for about 6 years now, 5 years now, 4 or 5. Anyway, all you've had on the left, you have quit mentioning the idea that we're going to quit fracking. or that we're going to do more organic gardening, or that we're going to promote affordable housing, or that we're going to get people out of prison or something. You forget talking about all of that, and the only thing you have been focused on is Donald Trump. Actually, that he's a racist. And we have to oppose the racist. We have Donald Trump. Oh my God, he's so scary. Donald Trump. That's all you've had. And now you're on this thing saying, oh, don't even say his name. I'm not even going to say his name. I'm going to call him T. I'm going to call him the demon sperm bag. Whatever. People have all these funny little names, a little joke. They're still talking about Trump. No one in that thread said, oh, God, I'm so glad to see you guys are no longer going to hyper-focus on Trump, and now you're going to actually focus on maybe someone in actual power? Maybe like Raytheon? Maybe like Anthony Blinken? Did anyone notice Anthony Blinken is kind of like our actual de facto president? No one noticed. You didn't notice. He's over one talking to people in other countries, doing things, right? He's our appointed from West Exec defense contractor turn / Secretary of State under Biden. Okay, the people they love. Steady State loves him. Kamala loves him. He's the real operative figure. He's the real thing, right? Deb Haaland and Kamala are actually like, skin tone female figures to put out there. They don't do anything. They're done. Okay. Deb Haaland has done nothing for the environment while she's been in there. So all these frackers pretending to be, opposing climate change, that's a ruse, right? You're still not taking on any power, not looking at anything real if you're talking about them. And this debate was a joke. No one called out and said, should we be debating the idea of fracking itself instead of our two snarky people attacking each other, fake little insult fest, and while they're both saying, oh, who can frack more? The American people who maybe aren't benefiting from fracking can't see how that works. Can't see what happened there. So far, online today, it's all just, woo, Kamala kicked ass. Woman power, woo. Awesome, I love that. That's great, right? But you got to have a critique of real power also. And right now we don't. We're lost. It's sad. The dude in the coffee shop I just spoke to, nice, cool, manicured gray hair, is going to go down to Costa Rica and take ayahuasca and tune in to the shamans down in ayahuasca, bro. Oh, but I don't want to know. I'm like, have you ever heard of West Exec? He's like, oh no, I've never heard of them. I don't know. That's political. I don't want to. So he brings up things that are political, and then he oh no, I don't want to talk about the details. Oh God, no. Whoa, no details. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm bringing up obscure names either, like Lockheed, Boeing, Raytheon, These should not be weird or small or obscure names, but they are now. To the idiot triggered, just, never talk about what matters kind of populations thing that we have going on now. It's really crazy. It's really next level. This election year, it's woo. All right. What's next? What happens next? It's amazing.